A defense minister hints at changing borders. Canada rewrites the rules for thousands in Limbo. Three nations launch a tech pact. Britain's steel tycoon walks away from inheritance taxes. And in Bangalore, fake RBI officers pulled off a 7 crore rupee robbery until they didn't. 5 stories. Let's get into it. Good morning. Welcome to Top of the Morning by Mint. I'm your host, Nelson John. This is your smart daily briefing on what matters. We cut through the noise so you start your day informed and ahead. It's Monday, November 24th. Let's get started. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh made headlines on Sunday with remarks that pushed beyond diplomatic norms. Speaking at a Sindh Samaj gathering in Delhi, he declared that while Sindh may not be Indian territory today, it remains part of India civilizationally. Then he went further. Borders can change. Who knows? Tomorrow, Sindh may return to India again. Here's the context. Singh invoked veteran BJP leader L.K. Advani, who wrote that Sindh Hindus of his generation never accepted the 1947 partition that gave Sindh to Pakistan.
और मैं यहाँ पर आदरणीय लाल कृष्ण आडवाणी जी का भी जिक्र करना चाहता हूँ. हमारे नेता थे, आज हैं. आडवाणी जी ने अपनी एक पुस्तक में लिखा है कि सिंधी हिंदू और विशेषकर उनकी पीढ़ी के लोग अभी भी भारत से सिंध को अलग करने की बात को स्वीकार नहीं कर पाए हैं. न केवल सिंध में बल्कि पूरे भारत में हिंदू सिंधु नदी को पवित्र मानते थे. सिंध के कई मुसलमान भी मानते थे कि सिंधु का जल मक्का के आबे जमजम से कम पवित्र नहीं है.
He also mentioned that not just in Sindh, but throughout India, Hindus considered the Indus River sacred. Many Muslims in Sindh also believe that the water of the Indus was no less sacred than the Abe Zamzam of Mecca.
यह मैं उनका कोट बतला रहा हूं, यह आडवाणी जी का कोट. आज सिंध की भूमि, मेरे बहनों भाइयों, यह भारत का हिस्सा भले ही न हो, लेकिन सभ्यतागत रूप से सिंध हमेशा भारत का हिस्सा रहेगा. और जहां तक जमीन की बात है, तो बॉर्डर्स तो बदल सकते हैं. क्या पता कल को सिंध भारत में फिर से वापस आ जाए.
The defense minister then pivoted to the Citizenship Amendment Act, framing it as protection for persecuted minorities. He painted a stark picture. Minority communities in neighboring countries facing burnt homes, killed children, and forced conversion. When these families fled to India, previous governments humiliated them, Singh claimed, calling it vote bank appeasement. Let's break this down. Sindh was the heart of the Indus Valley civilization and became Pakistani territory in 1947. Singh's suggestion that borders could shift again is remarkable for a sitting defense minister. His CAA defense ties directly to BJP's narrative about protecting Hindu minorities abroad. The remark comes as India navigates complex relationships with Pakistan and manages domestic debates over citizenship laws. Singh's civilizational claim over Sindh echoes historical grievances about partition, while his CAA comments signals the government's continued commitment to the controversial law despite criticism that it discriminates against Muslims. What this really means is that the government isn't backing away from either contentious territorial assertions or citizenship policies that have divided opinions both domestically and internationally. Canada is overhauling its citizenship rules that left thousands of people in legal limbo, including many Indian origin families. Bill C-3 promises to end what officials call outdated exclusions that created the so-called lost Canadians. The problem started in 2009 when Ottawa introduced the first generation limit. Under this rule, citizenship passed down only if at least one parent was Canadian by birth or naturalization. Kids born abroad to Canadian parents who themselves were born abroad got shut out entirely. Canada's immigration minister, put it plainly. Bill C3 fixed long-standing issues in citizenship laws and brings fairness to families with children born or adopted abroad. Here's what changed the game. Last December, an Ontario court struck down the first-generation limit as unconstitutional. The federal government accepted the ruling without fighting it. That opened the doors for this legislative change. The numbers, they tell the story. While earlier reforms in 2009 and 2015 restored citizenship for about 20,000 people, the first-generation limit created new exclusions even as it solved old problems. Under Bill C3, everyone affected by previous restrictive rules got citizenship restored. Moving forward, Canadians born overseas can pass that citizenship to their children if they've lived in Canada for at least 1,095 days cumulatively before the child's birth or adoption. That's the new substantial connection test. The law aims to reflect how modern families actually live, with parents working abroad or maintaining ties across borders while remaining fundamentally Canadian. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced a new trilateral technology partnership with Australia and Canada on the G20 sidelines on Saturday. The Australia-Canada-India Technology and Innovation Partnership, or ACITI, connects democratic partners across 3 continents and 3 oceans. What's in it? Green energy innovation, resilient supply chains, including critical minerals, and artificial intelligence development for mass adoption. The 3 governments say they're building on natural strengths while aiming for net zero targets and supply chain diversification. Officials from all 3 countries will meet in early 2026 to map specifics. Modi separately met British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres in Johannesburg. He called the India-UK partnership energized and his Guterres conversation productive. At the G20 opening session, Modi proposed a global initiative against the drug terror nexus and a worldwide healthcare response team. Indian-origin steel tycoon Lakshmi Mittal is abandoning the UK as the Labour government prepares major wealth taxes. The ArcelorMittal founder, worth £15.4 billion and Britain's 8th richest person, is now a Swiss tax resident and is shifting his operations to Dubai. Mittal already owns a Dubai mansion and recently bought into Naya Island development nearby. The trigger? Inheritance tax, not income levies. An advisor told the Sunday Times that wealthy foreigners can't understand why all their global assets should face UK inheritance tax. Chancellor Rachel Reeves is plugging in a £20 billion budget gap with higher capital gains taxes, reduced entrepreneur relief and new family business transfer levies. Speculations about a 20% tax exit on departing wealthy residents has rattled high net worth individuals and families across Britain. Bangalore police arrested 7 people after armed men posing as Reserve Bank officials robbed an ATM cash van of 7.11 crore rupees last Wednesday. By Saturday, officers recovered 6.29 crore rupees and are hunting 2 or 3 more suspects. The thieves stopped a vehicle in broad daylight in Lalbagh, Bangalore, claiming they needed to verify paperwork. They forced the custodian and guards into an SUV, while one gang member drove off with the van. The crew used fake plates, switched vehicles, and picked routes with minimal CCTV coverage. Among those arrested, Gopal Prasad, a cash transport company employee, J. Xavier, a former employee, and Annappa Nayak, a local police constable. Over 200 officers were deployed across Karnataka and 5 neighboring states. Investigators are examining whether the transport company violated cash transfer guidelines. That's all for today. Thank you for joining in. We are eagerly looking forward to our next Top of the Morning episode, which will be packed with the latest news. Until then, this is Nelson John signing off. Have a great day.